Hello, it's your girl Zimbo Down Under, and I love to create DIY projects. If you've been following me for a while, you will know that I do a lot of beading, some sewing, as well as cosplay costume making. Today, I'll be making some beaded Ndebele pieces for these two gorgeous girls. The girls have Ndebele heritage. The Ndebeles are native to Zimbabwe, and they dress up in similar traditional attire to Zulu people from South Africa. I have a video with a similar neck pieces for an adult titled How to Make a Traditional Zulu Necklace. I hope you enjoy this. It's coming as part of a series, and this is the first part of a series, and I would love for you to join me as I take you along on this beading journey. So please make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you will not miss out on any of the content that's coming up. Kelsey, okay, so I'm going to measure your neck, okay? Let's see your neck. And it is 6 centimeters. You will also see that I measured the girls for a headband and also for a belt. It is not in this video because I didn't want to make this video too long. If you're interested to see how I made those, make sure you're subscribed onto this channel so that you will not miss when I post those videos. They are coming up shortly. Measure here. Wait, I'm going to measure this one first. Look up, Kelsey. Okay. How long do you want it to be?
Whatever, you're a professional.
I like
So maybe
20.
12 centimeters. And you want me to measure your arm?
Yeah.
Okay, let's measure your arm. Kelsey's arm is 36 centimeters.
Oh,
Okay, and now it's this one's turn. What's your name? Amy. So we're going to measure Miss Amy. The neck is 26. So the neck is the same.
How about my arm?
You want your arm as well? Okay, let's measure Amy's arm. Look this way. It's 28.
No.
And we're going to measure. Look up, Amy. Up. Good girl. 10 centimeters. Okay, high five. High five. Good job.
High five again.
High five.
Zero.
Oh my god. So this is cotton. It says cotton pearl thread, and I have one that's almost finished and one new one. I'm also going to use my wildfire the beading thread that I use for my necklace, and I'm using a white one for this time. So that's the thread that I'm using. I am going to use my wax, and I'll need a threader. So this is my threader, and I use this to thread my needle because the thread is quite thick. I might need some help. I have my needles here, and of course I need thicker needles because the thread is thick. I also have my measuring tape, so I'll use this to measure so that I know what I'm doing and where I'm at. And then for the beads, I'm going to start with these two. So these are my stopper beads. I'm going to use 2 stopper beads, and I'll put them here so that they don't roll away. And because I'm using my stopper beads, I also need some small beads to cover my stopper beads. So I'm going to use these. It doesn't matter what color they are, so it's preferred to use the color of the bead. I have a whole lot of these beads in different colors on the side in case I need to change the color. So obviously I'm going to start with yellow, so yellow is here. But if it's going to be blue in the middle, I'm just going to cover this green bead with the blue. It doesn't matter because once it's covered you won't see. So I'll put this here like that. And then for my actual beading, I'm using these beads. So this bead is slightly bigger than this one. I'll put the sizes up the top. This is big. It's like 3 times, or not 2 times bigger, but it's bigger than this one. So I'm using these beads, and these are the beads that I bought in Zimbabwe. I have 5 colors, so I'm going to use these 5 colors, and I'm going to use white as my separating color. So the first thing that I need to do, because I have the measurements of the girls, remember I measured the girls, I need to decide what sequence these beads are going to be, and because one of the girl is wearing yellow and one of them is wearing orange, I'm going to start with yellow. So this one is going to be yellow, so my yellow will be on top. This is how I plan things. Yellow, maybe I'll put this blue next because I don't have a lot of the blue, so baby blue, and then maybe green, and then this other blue, so royal blue, and then the red on the bottom like that, and then red. So that's my sequence that I'm following: yellow, baby blue, green, royal blue, and red. So for yellow, I'll do 2, baby blue, I'll do 3, and then I'll increase by 1 bead because I don't want it to be too long because it's a child's necklace. And then in the middle, in between each bead, I'll put white, 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 white. And remember, I said when you're beading, you need odd numbers of these, the main color beads that you're using. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You cannot make this necklace with even numbers. It has to be odd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 colors that are my primary colors that I'm using, and then the white is the separating. And on the bottom, I'll put white and I'll put 3 beads. So this is my plan for this necklace for Miss Amy. Let's get into the video. Okay, let's get started. So all I'm doing here is simply threading my needle using the wildfire thread, and that's the proper beading thread. And then here you'll see me putting my thread through that little container that has my wax in it. So I wax my thread so that it doesn't tangle. All I've done is I've threaded my needle and I've doubled the thread. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those small beads that you're seeing me opening, and I'm just going to pour them on the mat. I'm not going to use the other cotton thread that I had. This is a child's necklace, and if I use the cotton thread, it might break. I just want it to be as strong as possible. So this thread is very strong and it will hold the necklace together. Now to start my beading, I need to create a stopper bead. I take a small bead and I thread it through, and once it's threaded, I'll put it through that big bead, and then I need to cover this big bead with some small beads. So just bear with me. I think I go out of frame a couple of times. Right, so I've decided to insert a different video here so it makes sense. Here you can see that the green bead is slightly bigger than the yellow beads that I'm using. So the yellow beads are 4 millimeters and the green bead is 6 millimeters. And so what I do is I just put it through, and then to make the ball, I'll start adding those small yellow beads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 sets of 5. So those are my 5 beads, small beads. So those are my 5 small beads that I've loaded on my needle and thread, and it goes down the thread like this. And then I'll take my needle and I'll put it through the bottom of the big bead. So it's going to come up, and then I'll keep adding my 5 small beads, and I'll make sure here that I pull the tension so it's tight. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my 5 small beads, and it's gonna go under through the bottom of the big bead, and then I'm gonna pull it. And when I pull it, I'm gonna make sure that the tension is tight. That's why I'm holding it with my index finger, and then I'll add the next set of 5. So I'm gonna do this 6 times, and then I'll come back and explain the next step. Now I finished doing 6 sets of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the 6 sets of 5 so there's gaps in between, and in those gaps I'm going to put 5 sets of 6. I hope it makes sense. So now I'm loading 6 small beads, and it's going to go through the gap. That way it's going to cover those gaps. So when I pull the first one, I make sure that it's not on top of the previous sets. And then I open the gap and I load my next set of 6, and then it's gonna go in through the same way I was doing before, and then I'll cover that gap. I'll pull the tension of the thread, and then I'm going to open to the next gap, and I'm going to add my 6 small beads, and I'll continue doing that until the ball is covered. On the last one, you see that I'm adding 4 small beads because the gap was too small to add 6, so you just go with the flow. And to get the thread back to the beginning, you just put it through the small beads until you come back out through our main beads. And that is how you achieve this ball. So let's get back to the original video. Now on the original video, you can see that I like using yellow on yellow. That's my yellow big bead, which is 6 millimeters, and I'm loading it with the small beads. This is because when it's fully covered, I don't want to see any other color peeking out, like when I used the green bead in my example before. To start my necklace, I'm going to load those 4 millimeter yellow beads onto my beading ball that I had done. And if you remember my measurements, the child was 26 centimeters. So I'm adding an extra 10 beads so I can make the loop which will go into the beading ball. And that's my 10 extra beads. And here you can see that's my loop, and I'm just testing to see if it works, and it's perfect. So before I start beading, I'm just going to quickly check if this necklace will be long enough for the little girl. Her neck was measuring at 26 centimeters, and you can see that I added 2 extra beads, and then the loop and also the ball will make an extra 2 centimeters. The most important thing you need to do is ensure that you have odd numbers of beads. So here you can see my beads. I have 5 colors: yellow, light blue, green, royal blue, and red. That's 5 sets. The white, I will not count it because it's my separating color. So make sure when you're making this necklace, you have odd numbers. So 3, 5, 7, or 9 different colors of beads. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to call this line of beads a column. Each color that you see in this column will represent a row. So you can see here, the first row has 2 yellow beads. The second row has 3 baby blue beads. The third row has 4 green beads. The fourth row has 5 royal blue beads. And the fifth row has 6 red beads. You will also notice that each row is separated by my white beads. So at the end here, I'm going to take 4 white beads. These are going to end my necklace. I take those 4 beads and then I push them through my needle. I make sure that I hold the end very tightly like this, and then my needle is going to go back through that first white bead that I put, and then it will have this diamond shape. So once I have this diamond shape, I'm going to start beading my next column going back up. So from here, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is load the exact same number of beads for each color, and remember to put your white separating bead in the middle, and then once you get 2 sets of colors, you join into the white that's there already. So you're supposed to have these diamond shapes. As you can see with the red and blue, it's a diamond when you close it into the white that's already there, and then the green and the baby blue, and then we are back to the start where we put our 2 yellow beads. Back on our necklace line, I like to count 2 beads, 1, 2, and then in the 3rd bead, that's where I'll put my needle through. And so from here, you continue the same way, going back down, you put the 2 yellow beads, your white separating bead, and then 2 baby blue beads, and then once you have a diamond, you connect it to the white that's already there. Your next green beads, white separating bead, blue beads, and then it becomes a diamond and it connects to the white bead that's already there. And then when you put your red beads at the end, make sure you put your 4 white beads and then you create that diamond. So I like to use the row and column illustration to explain this necklace because it makes sense. The ones that are going up and down are the columns, and then the rows are the ones with the color. So when the necklace is fully complete, it's easy to see the yellow row it's all yellow. Then the next row will be the blue row. The row goes across. That's why I prefer to call those my rows, and then the other ones that are going up, my column. So it's a bit hard to explain it, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy to do this necklace. I've done the similar video for this necklace for an adult, and I've decided to come back here and show you how to do it for a child because I get these questions either in my comment section or some people actually email me and they ask me, how do I make this necklace for this size? So I've shown you from scratch how you can adjust this necklace to a child's size. Now I'm going to just speed things through here, and I'm going to answer some of the questions that I receive about this necklace. So the first question that I'm going to answer is, what do you do when you've come to the end of your thread? So when you're making this necklace and your thread is running out, all you simply do is remember your last point, and then using your needle, you're going to thread through the beads to a certain point. It doesn't matter which direction you decide. And then when you get to a join, I like to just tie a knot, and then I keep on going in and out, up and down those lines. And then whenever I get to a join, I like to do a knot, and I just keep doing that to make sure that if anything happens, my necklace won't unravel. So once I finally get to the end where my thread is too short, I like to tie a knot, and then I cut that knot. And then I thread my needle. I make sure the end of my thread is double looped like this, and then I just hook it on and I use my needle to catch the end of the loop. I'm sorry I'm a bit out of frame. And then all I do next is just thread through my needle through all the beads until I get back to the last point where my thread ran out. So that is the part where there's the blue diamond and the white bead. So I'm just going up, and sometimes I like to just tie a knot when I get to a certain point. Otherwise I just keep going up and then I'll start going down. So here I decided to tie a knot before I start going down, and then I go down to the point where my thread ran out. So from here, I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the necklace. So I'll just continue as I mentioned with my columns, adding my different colors, making sure that I put the white bead to space them out. And then when I get to the end, I add my 4 white beads, and then I create that diamond effect by going back through that first white bead. If you're enjoying this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with all that's coming up. So here I've come to the end of my necklace, and I would like to add one more clasp to hold my necklace together. And I'm just going to tie a knot here, just like this, and just like that yellow clasp on the top with the big round bead, I'm going to create a green one. Okay, so all I've done is I've gone with my needle and thread, and I've come out where the green and the blue meet. In between the green and the blue, there's a white bead and a green bead. So I'm just going to put 3 green beads like this, and I'm going to take my large green bead, which is the 6mm bead, and I'm going to just thread it like this until the whole bowl is covered. To create my second loop, I'm just attaching my thread like this, and then I'm just gonna go through the necklace until I reach the green and white bead, and then from there I'll add my 10 beads to make a loop. So from here I'm going to add my 10 green 4mm beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm just going to loop them around, and then it's gonna come back through the first bead and then back through the necklace. And once I've finished, I'm just going to use my thread, my needle, to go back up through the necklace, and then I'll tie a knot, and that's the end of my necklace. I hope you find this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed watching this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on anything else that I'm going to be posting. So I'll just quickly end by measuring my necklace. So the young girl's neck that I was making this necklace for was 26 centimeters. So I have put the necklace at 26 centimeters, and I've also left the loop and the ball that goes into the loop as the extra centimeters because I wanted to grow with her for a little bit. So here we go. This is the final product. I just wanted to show you how to make a child's necklace from scratch, showing you how to measure the neck correctly. So because I'm making this for 2 girls, this is the second necklace. I've made this off camera. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please stay tuned for the rest of the series. Coming up is the headband, and then I'll show you how to do the belt for a child.